back to the Love Solutions podcast. This is your girl, Sayani.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your girl, Daria Marie. It's so great to be here.
It's so great to be here. And tonight's topic is solutions on not confusing a simp with a gentleman.
Yes, and it's so funny because I've been singing in my head, big simp and spend and cheese. I don't know why the song simp easy. I've just been making up all these different things in my head. And ever since we started talking about it, you know how the algorithm works, right? Like start talking about something and then things start popping up. Um, so it started to like pop up with like all these videos about simps, and it's just like a very, very interesting topic. And I think that there's a certain amount of people that just really like fall into this category or they don't. Like it's
Right,
either way.
right. So I'm just gonna answer this guy. Jim is asking, first time listener, is this a dating show? I would say so. What do you think?
Um, I think that
Somewhat.
we're a platform that, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of the topics that we discuss can definitely impact your dating life, but we
Absolutely.
talk about a lot of different things. Sayani makes it very clear that she's not a matchmaker, but she is a relationship consultant and does do one-on-one coaching. She has a lot of services to help people with their romantic and dating lives. But we are a very versatile podcast and we talk about a lot of different things. Last year, we were actually listened to all over the world. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely consider us in the dating category though, for sure.
For sure. Yes. So, sis, so the definition, there's three different definitions here, D. And men, if you've ever heard of this word before, please let me know if you've heard of the word simp or if you ever been called a simp or you've called someone else a simp. Just let us know in the comments. We want to know. So, the definition of a simp is a silly or foolish person. Then there's a slang version, which is a person, in parentheses, says, typically a man who is desperate for the attention and affection of someone else, in parentheses, typically a woman, also used by teenagers to insult boys who are too nice to girls. Then there was another definition with, do you remember Arthur
The
from
aardvark?
PBS?
The aardvark?
Yes,
Yes, I remember Arthur. I loved Arthur.
me too. So he was on a card and the card said simp card. So I click on that and I'm like, let me see this. And there was a definition. This is another slang definition. Someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention towards another person, typically someone who doesn't reciprocate the same energy in pursuit of intimacy or relationship, typically a woman. So I want to touch base on this because it's for those asking, are we both in successful marriages, relationships? Yes, 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 I am. Would you like to let Jim know?
Hell no. When you said yes, I was like, she gonna lie on me right now?
No, I was saying yes, like I'm in a successful relationship. Yes.
Neither one of us are married, and Sayani is in it. Can I just say that it just hurt my heart that Arthur the Aardvark is now being brought into this simp conversation because how you gonna bring my childhood and my PBS into this shit? Like, where did this come from?
You know why? Because Arthur was known to be the sweet one. He was always nice. He was always, just very caring.
Yeah.
So I feel like they used him as an example of what not to be as a man to women. So I feel like there definitely should be a balance. What's up, Rye? My bro Rye in the house. Um, but I feel like there should be a balance, and I think a lot of women are confusing um a simp. And also I don't like the definition of, like, I just like the definitions that I read, and it's very messed up. Like, this is really a definition. Um a silly or foolish person. It's like the main definition as the first thing you see. And I don't believe that a man that really likes you, that's really into you and shows you efforts, and is consistent with his actions more than words, um, I don't think should be considered someone that's a fool. Um,
That's my
because it takes a lot for a man to really build up the courage and the courage and the bravery, honestly, to go up to a woman, not know if he will be rejected or not. You know what I mean? Or even express himself in a way where he feels comfortable, because a woman is naturally a nurturer, right? So we we have this within us, but not all women feel the same way. So,
Yeah, and I also feel like for me, like when a man can be silly and goofy, um, that's actually attractive to me. I always say, and I put this on when I had a dating profile, it was on my dating profile. Like I'm a sucker for a gentleman. I think it's extremely attractive when a man is able to be sympathetic and silly and goofy and not so serious all the time. Whenever I see a man that like lacks that, I'm always like you hurt like something's going on with you like because to not be silly or smile really or have like that loving demeanor, that's something that I find extremely attractive. Jay Wright said I think gorillas would treat women better in a relationship than we men do.
wow.
Yep. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's this stigma that if you, and this is the part that bothers me, that if you treat women or you advocate for women, then you're a quote unquote simp. And that's something that I feel like, when there's advocacy for women, like there's men that have pages on social media, either a TikTok or Instagram, that actually speak towards um the women of the world and about how men, don't treat them right or what they deserve, and how, like if you're lacking this, she's not going to be this. And if you expect a woman to be in her feminine energy, you have to provide her a safe space. And like they speak about things that are really valid, but the other men that are looking in will definitely categorize them as being a simp because they're pretty much advocating for women. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So it's the same thing as a woman that advocates for men. She's a pick me.
It,
So that's really what's going on in the world. I was just speaking to a friend of mine over brunch on Sunday, and I was talking about how I feel like this is something, somewhat of an agenda that's being pushed upon men and women to basically separate us, and it'll get to the point where we don't even want to be in each other's lives. Like we can't stand each other, and that's where a lot of men and women are in today's world. I've never seen so much war and battle between men and women. And the thing is that a lot of men and women want relationships, but what they see out in the world today and what they're hearing, what they're listening to has a lot of influence because they can connect to that. They can say, I know how that feels, so that is the lane that I fall into, so I'm going to go follow that lead because this person sounds a lot like what I've been through, what I've experienced. But what I wish that can happen, and I feel like it is happening little by little, is we're slowly getting back to understanding that, yeah, we're both human, yeah, we're different, men and women. The way we think about a lot of things, the way we react to a lot of things is very different, and that is something that we can't shake. It is what it is. But I feel like there's a maturity level that we um should absolutely consider and have a conversation about what is really wrong. You know what I mean? Like what is so hard about being honest? If you're into me, you're into me. If you're not, you're not. But everything is about running around and sugarcoating, and it's just getting to a point where now men and women are confused about what is a good woman or what is a good man, and how do you differentiate, how can you tell? It's so much going on that this is why there's such thing as simps and pygmies now.
Well,
So
this guy
go
right,
ahead.
you asked what the problem was, and like this right here to me is problematic. He said, I think it's a scientific fact that women give more when a man gives her less.
I doubt it.
So, I don't know what type of women you've encountered, but for me, like the less that you give me, the less that I'm interested or that I'm even considering you for my
Same.
time, my future, or anything other than a friendship, right? Because if
Right.
you're putting forth effort, and vice versa, it's not just all on the man to put in the effort, and that's what another problem is like, it's not about like, oh, women want this and men want this. It's like the world is such a big place, and it really is contingent on what your mindset is and the way that you think. And what as a woman you would like to receive from a man on the receiving end in a romantic relationship. There are some women that maybe don't like men that are goofy and silly and like that, like protector, serious, like they may like that in totality about a person, but there's some women that may want you to have both sides, or some women that may cater towards only that goofy, silly, sympathetic part of you. So it's really about finding compatibility that comes in multiple layers, and you not just labeling all women will give more when you give less, because that's like that mindset right there is where you need to shift, because being stuck in one place is only going to give you such limited results that you're looking for.
I love that you said the women you've encountered, because I responded to a comment. So two of my videos on Instagram went viral, and one of them was overlooking someone's efforts, and like being careful overlooking somebody's efforts. And again, all my videos, everything that I've been doing is for both men and women. I'm not doing this back and forth. That's not what Love Solutions is at. Or what Love Solutions is about. It's for both parties. So one woman said that men hate questions. That's what she responded to me. And I went to her profile and I'm like, this woman looks like she's older than me and she feels this way. And I responded, I said, perhaps the men you've encountered hate questions.
Right.
Because I asked my dad. I said, Dad, do you hate questions? He said no. How else am I supposed to? He was like, how else was I supposed to get to know your mother? Then I asked Taylor, I'm like, babe, do you hate questions? No. How else am I supposed to get to know you? And if something is wrong with me and I'm not communicating, and this is something my father said as well, and I've asked clients the same thing as well, male clients, um, just to get their opinion on this before I answered her. And to them, it was like, well, how am I supposed to get to know a woman or anyone if I, as a man, hate questions? So why is it if men hate questions, why do we hear all of these podcasts talking about, oh, women this, women that? Because we're not asking questions. So this is what I'm hearing. This is the side I'm getting. So they actually enjoy the questions, because if they are not able to communicate or something is going on, they're super busy, right? Let's just say they're super busy. Um, you expect questions. There's nothing wrong with you asking somebody, "Hey, I'm my love language is this, and this is why this bothers me. What exactly is wrong with you? Like, why aren't you affectionate? Why aren't you showing me this way?" We need to be able to communicate and talk so that we
So
can come to a solution, is what I'm saying.
Fonzarelli, he said, "They're very important. I love them." So, gaslighting. So, literally, oh my God, I love these men. Yes, guys. So the men that don't like questions belong to the women that are comfortable with sitting there and keeping their mouths shut and not questioning them about anything, not letting them, just letting them disrespect them, or having that just free flow relationship that there's no boundaries, that there's no reciprocation, that it's just like, I'm your woman. I'm your body to do whatever with. You could disrespect me. You could do this. You could do that. Those men, those are the types of women that you need. Because you're not going to be with a woman that's trying to get to know you and peel back your layers and has questions and wants to hold you accountable for things. If you're like, I don't like questions. Like, I don't know what that means. I'm in education, so my life is a whole giant question all day long. Um,
Right? Same.
but yeah, like that's just, the way that it goes is like if you have certain preferences or if you know that there's a certain thing that you don't want out of an individual, you're going to be catering to a certain genre of women. And it's probably a really small one nowadays. And I think that that's why these topics are so hot because there's dynamics in the world and in relationships in general that aren't really typical dynamics, and that's why these conversations get so controversial.
So, Fonz, I love the men in here
But
today.
yes, family therapist, I like this guy.
Oh, nice. Welcome to Love Solutions. Yes, passing time for food. Um, so I love it. Fonze said it shows they are interested in dating with a purpose. Hakeem said, I enjoy asking questions though on dates. That's great. But see, let's give some solutions to women that will confuse because the problem today there are a lot of women. We were just talking about the traditional woman and the modern day woman, and there's a huge difference. But let's talk to our modern day woman. What is the difference? Because I feel like a lot of modern day women are confusing. I've never heard of, okay, I'm gonna stay on track because if not, we'll be here all night. Focus, Yanni. Okay, simping is a foolish person, too nice. This man is just excessive. What was the, oh yeah, shows excessive sympathy and attention towards another person. I feel like there should be a balance. Men, I'm going to tell you this because I hear it with my clients all the time. And I'm always going to say this on every podcast, on every live that we do, D, because now I have my own data and I love it. Now I can go back to my what I do on a daily basis inside, day in, day out. And when I tell you, men, stop going after the women that don't want you. Stop ignoring those red flags that are there. If a woman if you're giving so much and she's giving you this much, why are you going the extra mile for a woman that's not going the extra mile for you? That's not even taking the first step to get into that mile. Okay? Stop going back to especially if you keep choosing the same type of woman, you keep going for the same type of woman, guess what, you're going to get the same outcome. And I know this because I have heard it from my clients, and I tell them, do you see the pattern here? You keep giving too much of yourself to women that don't even want to, don't, basically you're friend zoned. You're being friend zoned. Why why don't waste your time, keep it pushing. Don't
I
waste your
need
time.
to piggyback off this because this guy Hakeem said dating for a woman is like shopping. Dating for a man is like a job interview he has to pay for. And I can totally see like partials about that because in like the standard, way of like courting, quote unquote, a woman, the man will take the woman out and do all of those things, right? But if you're listening to what Yanni is saying, before you even get to the point that you're going on a quote unquote job interview you have to pay for, have a conversation, have a cup of coffee, take a walk with each other. It doesn't have to be something that is dependent on you fiscally for you to get to
Right.
know or to see where someone's intentions are. Like, I
These are solutions, ladies and gentlemen.
I for one like would prefer to not go on an intimate date with someone unless I'm actually really interested in them because number one, I have to sit across the table with that person and have an intimate, meal and conversation with you. And then I don't want to feel like you actually invested in something with me if I'm not even interested in you, like that it's just the way that I am and the person that I am. I'm a woman of integrity. So it's again going after these women that are just looking for a free meal. Or if you were on one of our lives, we talked about that woman that completely took a flight somewhere and was asking for crab legs and all these things, and she doesn't fly Spirit, all this shit, because this guy probably does this with the same types of women. He goes for women that are out of his league. I'm sorry. And he thinks that his money will get him further, and it doesn't. And then he's over here be like trashing this chick, but like really it's because you made the wrong moves. Like you have to understand where somebody's motives are and be woke enough to realize when a woman's really you and when a woman's really not, and vice versa. Like I can tell when a man just has one intention and one intention only, and that's okay. But I'm open minded to it, and I'm able to actually like pinpoint that. Like this guy isn't really trying to, pursue something serious. And it may not even be about me. It may be about them and about their place that they're at in their life. But you just
Right.
have to be aware and pay attention to signs of things that are going on.
I absolutely agree. And girl, exactly, Fonze. Fonzo. I'm sorry if I mess up your name, but that's a good way to test her interest. Absolutely. And this is what we're talking about. Okay. Always identify your high and low needs. Be high maintenance if you provide high care. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. But
Channel. They want to know if we have a YouTube channel. Yes, we do. But exactly, testing someone's interest. Like I can tell. Like, let me give you guys a scenario. Someone comes up to me and says, "You
sorry, look at
lie to me and take my money, Daria." No, it's not who I am. And I think he also earlier asked me where his
he
light,
wants he wants to be taken out for crab legs.
exactly. You guys just like these things just keep resurfacing themselves. Okay, let me give you guys men A and man B. Okay, man A approaches me. This is actually a real situation, and asks me for my social media. Right? It's like, oh, you got Snapchat? Like, oh my God, here we are. All right. Start sending me like shirtless pics. Oh, did you do cardio today? Oh, I could give you some cardio. Like man A. Okay. Yeah, that this has happened. Man B says, do you mind if I give you a call later? Are you busy later on? Calls me, talk on the phone, talk about life, future plans. How was this? How was that? How's your day going? How's work? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Whatever, whatever. If you're free, I'd love to take you out one time. Like you can just tell. Like the guy, man A is literally. I'm laughing. Like I'm literally laughing at you. Like there's zero seriousness being taken with you whatsoever. Man B, I'm like, my interest is peaked a little bit, like I'm feeling some effort. I'm feeling some genuine intentions. He goes, man B is me. I am man B.
Right.
You guys are crazy.
So one last question. I'm glad that you broke it down that way because I want to there are so many men out here that just have like they're waiting. They're looking around, but my women, I need y'all to understand that these okay, I'm just gonna stay focused because we will be here another hour. I keep saying that because I have so much on my brain. But
Jim said, so no six figure.
that's the question. Yeah. No, it's to me, I feel let me tell you something. I think that not I think I know that what's going on is everything has become very like the XEXUALITY has been extremely like enhanced and everything is super that way and the reason why I can't say it is because then TikTok will ban us, so we're not trying to do that. But honestly, like for real, that's the problem. Everything is about the physical, everything is about the money, everything is about the career, everything is about, oh well, what is it that you that you're doing that I can't do for myself. I understand that. I understand that mentality. And if a woman comes with that mentality towards you and it's not something that you are even like bringing up, if that's the first thing she that comes out of her mouth, like, listen, I don't need you, please stop talking to that woman. Please stop talking to that woman. Stop wasting your time. Because no matter what you do with that type of woman, because see, any woman will tell you, I am the first to say, I am independent. Within my relationship, I am independent. Yes, I am. But I'm also with a man that understands that before I came into the picture, I had my own. And before he came into the picture, I knew he had his own. What we did was we liked each other so much so to the point that we were going to each other's houses, we're going to each other's cities, we're having dates, we're getting to know each other, we're growing together. We're these feelings and emotions and the respect that I had for this man, it was massive. But that's because we had a natural organic connection. The conversations of my job and how much money and all this stuff came throughout those times of us getting to know each other. And that's just facts. Instead of a woman coming up to you, as soon as you go on a date with this woman and what she's doing is that, please don't waste your time. Because no matter what you do, that woman will never be happy. You will be living just to make that woman happy. And you don't want to waste your time like that. A woman is not just going to automatically, you already know. Ladies, a man already knows. A man already is going to know that you are independent, okay? And that you don't need him because when he met you, you already had your own. That's it. That's all I have to say.
And I just feel like, so I always say this all the time. Like, I don't like when people say, like, I don't need a man, because at the end of the day, you do. And I do, like, and I preface this with saying, like, I don't need a man to live. I don't need a man to be
Right.
stable. I don't need a man to survive and to pay my bills and to contribute to my life financially. Like, no, you're not coming into my life to be my dad. You're not coming into my life to be my bank. You're coming into my life to be my man. And that's where the whole simp thing comes in, because there's this label that is put on men who actually feel and have empathy and have passion for a woman and prioritize a woman in their life as a special person. It's looked at as something that's negative. Like, so one of the examples that I read when I was reading the definition of simp, and I wanted to see what you were going to say, so I texted you before and was like, read the definition. It was like, a guy is out with his friends, and the one that's in the relationship looks at his friends and says, guys, I'm going to head back to the house so I can spend some time with my girl. Good friends and genuine friends would be like, all right, bro, have a great time. Like, get home safe. Text us when you get home. Like, have fun with your girl. People with that other mindset are going to be like, oh, homie's a simp. You're leaving the boys. You're going to go be with your girl. Your girl's probably bitching at you. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, so there's two different ways to look at it. And that's why, like, someone on here mentioned boundaries. And I don't only have boundaries with myself, I have boundaries with the people that I'm around, right? So, like, you're not going to disrespect somebody for respecting their relationship and for doing right by somebody else and then putting a negative label on them because they actually respect somebody. To me, like, the whole simp label is just absolutely like an insult to good men. And it's why men kind of like do certain things in private and then hide those layers of themselves, because they don't want to be pointed at or labeled as quote unquote simp. Vanzarelli said simps, it's scarcity mindset and lacking options. I do think that it is a scarcity mindset, because it's like
To
you're
be judged by other men.
right. Yeah, like
That's one
you're
of them.
protect your, it's almost like, and then I feel like it makes me sad, because it's like you have to first of all be someone that you're not, and then try to protect yourself, because people are labeling you or calling you weak because you actually treat your woman the right way. Like, that's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me tell you something. If a man ever tells you you are a simp, let me tell you something. I've heard these words from men that don't have girls, that what they have is play toys. but they don't consider serious relationships. That's not what they do. And these are men that I've actually spoken to. Um, that's those are the type of men that will call the man that actually cares for a woman or does nice things for his lady because she just had a rough day. And stop making assumptions that this man is just being used and abused. Stop it, because when you're in a relationship, it takes two to make it work. It takes two to make it work. So if her man wants to do something nice for her, trust me, she's doing something very nice for him too. And
Absolutely.
on top of that is nobody's damn business on top of that. That's all I have to say.
I think that one of the solutions also ties into what you said, and I feel like the word simp and the whole pick me thing, like they exist for a reason. But I think when we're talking about deciphering between a gentleman and a simp goes along with what you said earlier about men who do the same thing over and over again and go after the same women over and over again. So if you're a man who's being a gentleman and you are doing acts of service or beautiful things for a woman that is unappreciative, who doesn't reciprocate, who doesn't actually have genuine feelings for you, and you're just like giving and giving to someone who literally gives you nothing in return, that to me could identify you as a simp, because you're just like pouring love and attention into somebody who doesn't even have any interest in you, and you're just making yourself, your vulnerabilities coming out for the wrong person who's not reciprocating that. But a gentleman is someone that's going to pour that into the right person that actually appreciates it, receives it, and reciprocates it in return. So you're not a simp if you're doing it for the right woman that's actually like holding you down too and doing it for you as well. So that's to me what the difference is between the two if you want to compare them.
And those are solutions.
And yes, replace her if it's not reciprocated. Absolutely. Like that's
Yeah.
valid. And honestly, and it goes for women too. If you're giving your all to a man in a relationship and you're, being loyal and you're communicating and you're doing beautiful things for him and showing him that you're down for him and you care, and he's kind of treating you like you're whatever, then that's what I'm saying. Like this guy in the beginning said, when you do less for a woman, she gives you more. Absolutely not. Because the less you give me, the less I'm giving you, and then I'm out before you know it. So
Right. So someone said, We Designs New York said, all of these abbreviations make me sick. They make me sick too. But the reality is, this is the world that we live in today. And while there's all this war and battle going back and forth between men and women, we're just here offering solutions that you honestly can implement into your life and see the difference. You will see improvement if you listen to these solutions. We're not just out here just giving it just to give it. No, majority of these solutions, listen, I wasn't perfect. I was not like this once upon a time. I didn't have this idea for love solutions once upon a time. I was single. I was living my best life. But guess what? It wasn't just put out in the world the way it is today. And this was just more than a few years ago. What, like before COVID? All of this started coming up, what, 2020, 2021, where it's like all of this war between men and women. And you know what? We're not going to keep feeding into it. We're just going to give you solutions. And listen, I'm talking about listen to those that actually give you solutions when they talk about the woman, when they talk about the man, not bashing, not telling you, oh, don't do this. At the end of the day, your experience may not be the next person's experience.
mhm.
Go based off of your own experience. That's all I have to say.
So I think that it's so he said we're trying to change the hearts of the world. And like Yanni and I actually as a unit are proof of growth and evolution. Like if you guys used to watch our lives during talking about COVID, used to watch our lives
Yep.
during COVID, like we were pure entertainment guys. Like we
For real.
I had 2,000 people on the live. Like we used to talk about more conflicts. We were love conflicts at that time. So it was kind of a little bit more negative, like we were shedding light on these negative topics and like kind of just getting wild with it and having fun and being spicy. And we weren't filtered as much as we are on TikTok. So we're like our classy version. This is Love Solutions. Hello and welcome and thank you. But
Right.
It's just
It's
like,
so hard sometimes.
yeah, I mean, especially with me and you, because when me and you were together with the raw version of us, like, it's like TikTok would be like, you guys are done. But when you're
Right.
about we were talking about COVID, and I think that that's when people had to really sit with each other. Like they really had to, like we were in isolation. We weren't outside, we weren't going on dates and going out to like restaurants and stuff. And I feel like they really had to sit with each other and like learn one another. So I think that there's been a lot of education and awareness that actually came from COVID. And that's why you said it's so heightened now because people
Yeah.
really like experience it for themselves. Content like this is definitely a breath of fresh air in today's polluted society. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really try. And that's why I just highlighted how, we weren't always like this, Hakeem. Let me tell you something. You should have been there on IGTV because it was like Tory Lanez with the milk challenge. No, I'm joking.
I'm done. You really brought that back.
We did a live on that one night. We did a live on that one night about like women exploiting themselves and like women like that will be having dudes simping, guys. Those girls will have dudes simping because they got the booty cheeks that just make you do whatever. Like whatever, bruh. So yeah, we had lives about when I think about the pandemic, I like it just trips me up sometimes because I feel like it just
Me
like
too.
never happened, but
Right.
our evolution is beautiful, and I truly
It
think
is.
giving out content like this and spreading awareness about topics like this will help people understand. Like, I hope that we were able to help some people tonight through the solutions that we provided because you really just have to, and I say this all the time, respect yourself. And you have to be aware of the intentions of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And Yanni and I talk about this all the time. One time, me and her were in the pool and we were looking at each other in the eyes, and I was giving her the heart Daria talk. And her man came out and he was like, y'all talk too much. Like, what are you guys You just gotta know who's down for you and who's not. And if people call you a simp for being a good man or a pick me for being a good woman, then so what? Like they're not meant to be there in your life if they're not rooting for you and praising you for being happy and being in a healthy dynamic in your life that makes you do better and treat somebody good in your life. Because that's what we're all here for. Straight up.
Period. And I love you so much, D. I really do.
I love you too. I love all you guys. It was so we really honestly missed being here, and it was Yanni's birthday. So I said I was like, girl, you better turn up for your birthday, and Love Solutions will be there when we return. But we love you guys too. Thank you so much. And we will be back. There are some beautiful life things happening for me, so I will enlighten you guys later on. But we may have to take a break or two. But we will always be back. We always show up for our people. The pop.
Always. Yes, the popcorn and the chocolate bars. Yes. That is the energy that we always want to give when you come on our platform. Is respectful, is love, is peace, is all of that. Daria getting flown out. Listen, we'll find out in 2 weeks, okay?
That would not be something that I would be like, oh my God, this big life-changing thing is happening for me. Like, no, dude, no.
Right.
Like, way better and way better than that. You guys are going to be clapping. You guys are going to be clapping.
Yes, absolutely, y'all. You know what?
Sends,
So Hakeem said, go ahead, Z, sorry.
he sends the airplane. Let me find out.
So what days do you go live? We go live every Wednesday at 7. Okay. So every Wednesday at 7, we go live. But if you want to catch up, okay, you want to catch up on our podcast, you can go ahead and visit Love Solutions Podcast on YouTube. But the very first episodes of Love Solutions Podcast go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor FM. We are also on Instagram, Love Solutions Podcast on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe. Okay, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.
Thank you,
Oh
guys.
wow. Thank you. Yes, thank you guys for all the gifts and love that you guys showed us on here. Thank you. Yes, I am legendary. Thank you for putting that out there. And yes, guys, email us if you have a topic. email us at the Love Solutions Podcast, the Love Solutions Podcast at gmail.com if there is a topic that you would like to hear. All right. So we'll drop this episode audio tomorrow at 12 p.m. Make sure to subscribe. Follow your girl Sayani and your girl Daria. Thank you for tuning in. This is your girl Sayani.
This is your girl Daria Marie. Yeah, I'm dying too. You said I like the white girl. Oh, God. Also, my IG, our private IG, our personal accounts are also on our TikTok page as well. So follow us, show
Yes.
love. Go listen to all of our previous episodes. Unfortunately, you can't go back to the IGTV from COVID where we were like, you have some of them on your Instagram, I think.
Yes, there's season 1 and 2 on my Instagram. Just go to my reels and it should say series, and you'll be able to go to like the all of our love conflicts IGTV shows.
Thank you guys. We love you. You guys are crazy.
I can't. Peace and love, y'all. I love you, D.
Peace and love.